Okay, so my hair that I put on these dolls is a faux fur. This is the dark brown. I think it's color number 2 on my list. And what I do is I cut a strip, and this one comes from Amazon. Some of them I can get at Hobby Lobby, but they're not a very big piece, so it's not a very good deal. However, if you want to try to make your own hair, that might save you a little bit of money. I'm always very frugal, so I'm always trying to save people money. I do coupons and the whole 9 yards. But anyway, you cut you a strip and you just kind of round off the edges, and then you cut a second strip about 2 inches wide. For a larger baby, you're going to need a wider, longer strip. And if you can sew, you're going to sew this around the back side. So I'm going to sew that on there. It's just a straight stitch. Now you could even do this by hand if you don't have a sewing machine. But I will sew this on to the, well, you got to have your right sides together. I'm not even showing y'all right. Anyway, right sides together. And then I'll come back and show you how to attach it to the head. Okay, I'm back. It takes like literally a minute to sew this together. So I stitched this in a lighter, let me turn my light on. I stitched this in a lighter thread so you could see where I stitched it and how I stitched it. You want to go to the inside corner on your strip. That's going to be the back side of your hair. The back of the head. And so you want to go around. You're going to trim all this excess off with a pair of scissors. You need to be careful when you cut up near the top. You don't want to just cut it like this, because what you're doing is cutting through the fur if you do that. Back there, I can get away with that. It's not going to be seen. But up here, and when you cut your piece of fur, you want to kind of put your scissors in there and only catch the back side of this fur. I guess, I don't know, the fabric part of the fur. You just take little snips because you don't want it to look like cut hair. I swear it is my pet peeve when I see a doll that has a straight haircut. Y'all, get a razor blade, seriously. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this off if I can. This doesn't matter because it's stuck in there. It's going to be in the back. Anyway, I'm going to flip this around. Whoop, look at that. It's a crown. Now, obviously, I laid my fur to where the top, this is the top of the head. The hair is coming down. And then when you go around to the back, it's going the other way. This is that strip that we created. And then this is, I don't have this trimmed very well, but this is the inside. And then you're going to set this on your little baby doll. Of course, they're going to be covered with faux hair. Now, look at that. Now this one I've cut a little bit big, so that's why, you know, each one of these has to kind of be custom fitted to the doll. So if you've got a doll already and you're like, hey, can you make me a wig? Not really, because it's not going to fit. As you can see, this is too big. So what I'm going to do is decide where I want to make a pleat, which is also going to become a part in the doll's hair. So I think here I'm going to go about like that. If you have any sewing abilities whatsoever, you will understand what I did. I'm going to take, this is just a Prismacolor pencil. I'm marking right there. That's where I want my line. And I'm going to go back. You just kind of feel with your fingers. So I'm going to make a part right there. So I'm going to just turn this in. And it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. And then I'm going to stitch a wedge in my fabric right there. So I'm going to do that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I stitched a wedge. I actually did it twice because I wasn't following my line. Now when I open this up, I have a little part right here. Now you can take a needle, a pair of scissors, let's use this crochet hook, and you can pull this hair up. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to be more active on social media, you guys, but like I'm fixing to be 58 years old this month, and when you get older, you know, you think you have technology figured out, but you don't. Anyway, you can just pull this fur out of that little seam that you made. Anyway, you can play with that. No big deal. I'm gonna cut this on the bottom after I make sure it fits my doll's head. Don't ever cut until you're sure. Let's see, sometimes I have to do 2 or 3 darts. It just depends, because each doll, their head is going to be shaped differently. Now, I like this. I think this fits very nicely. Oh, this doll is so cute. Look at that hair. Oh my gosh. Looks like a little baby Elvis or something. Yeah, that feels really good. So, I've got a couple of bumps here where I need to clean up the inside, which is going to be these marks, you know, these places here. I need to cut this off. I need to cut that. That way it's just going to lay better. And then you're just going to take a whoops, get up here, baby. You're going to take a needle and thread. Once you get this where you want it, you can pin it. You can put pins if you want to. And then you're just going to take a needle, and it doesn't matter where you start. You're going to put obviously you're going to put a thread on here, and you're going to put 1 knot in it, and you're just going to whip stitch all the way around. I'll come back and show you this as soon as I get this trimmed up, and I'll just take a few stitches and show you how to do it. Alright guys, I'm back, and I am going to take just a few stitches. Got to tie a knot in your thread. I use an upholstery thread that I can get at Hobby Lobby. I'm just really hooked on that one. I don't know, it seems to do better for me. Please excuse all the redness on my hands. I get into quite a bit of trouble around here. Okay. I've got all of my pieces trimmed as good as I'm going to trim them. Nobody's going to see this. Doesn't even matter what color thread you use, because nobody's ever going to see it. And you'll forget about it once you get it done. Excuse me. I'm going to cut. I've got a couple of harsh edges here. I do not want that at a 90-degree angle, so I'm just going to cut this to where it's more rounded. Now, if you want a 90-degree angle, go for it. I also want to show you that you could, oh, my work area is so messy. You could put this on a reborn doll. Look at this. Now, this does not fit her very well, but oh my gosh. Now, if you don't have the money and you want some hair on your baldy baby, go over to Hobby Lobby and grab you a piece of faux fur. That's actually stinking cute, you guys. Now, you would have to secure this somehow. What I would recommend to keep from damaging your doll is some of that sticky tack stuff that they use for the Reborn pacifiers. Some people use that on the mouth. This is my personal doll, Haven, and I'm making her a new body because I didn't care for the size of body that I had on her, so I'm going to make her a little bit bigger body. But y'all, that's cute. Look at that. Heck, I might leave that on her for a while. I don't know. She's got painted hair that I gave her, which is not the best, but I still love her. She's my baby. Anyway, let me show you how to stitch this onto our little cloth baby, our ultimate cuddle baby. I have ultimate cuddle bodies that you can purchase. They do not require any sewing. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh, I love it. Look at those ears too. You guys. Okay, I'm going to stop swooning over this baby and get busy. Alright, so I just start somewhere. It doesn't matter where, just you'll see it. And you're going to take the first stitch, I do it like backwards. That way the knot is up here. So I'm going to do this. You'll see my knot right there. Then we're going to come down in here. We're going to take a stitch. You don't want your stitch way down here because then it's going to show. But you can take a stitch right here. Grab the base of the fur fabric. Don't worry about pulling the hair in because you can always just take a needle and pull your hair up like this. And that way when you get pieces caught, you can, you know, get it to where you want it. Take another stitch. This is just a whip stitch. If you're not familiar, you're going to pull it tight and you're just going to keep making little stitches like this about